Germany, where every journey feels like a story, 7 a.m. A small lake in the Bavarian Alps, mist still sitting on the water. By lunch, you're standing in the middle of a 700-year-old town, cobblestones under your feet, church bells ringing. By dinner, you're in a city with glass skyscrapers, techno music leaking out of a bar, and a subway system that runs on the second. Same day, same country. That's Germany, and most people only ever see one side of it. I'm going to show you all three. And stick around because the last part of this video is the side of Germany almost no first-time visitor plans for. One country, three worlds. Here's what makes Germany strange in a good way. You can cross the entire feel of a country in a 2-hour train ride. North, flat coastlines, wind, islands. Center, forests, rivers, vineyards, castles on hills. South, the Alps, rising out of nowhere like a wall. But it's not just geography that shifts, it's time. Breakfast in a 500-year-old bakery. Dinner in a building designed last year. Germany doesn't choose between old and new. It runs both at once. And that's exactly why the landscapes hit differently than you'd expect. The scenery that doesn't look real. Everyone pictures Neuschwanstein Castle when they think of Germany. And yes, it's real. And yes, it looks fake. A castle sitting on a cliff like something out of an animated film. But here's the twist. The castle isn't even the best part of Bavaria. The Black Forest is. Thick, dark woodland. Roads that curve for no reason other than the mountain told them to. Villages so small they don't have a stoplight. Then there's the Rhine, a river that runs past vineyards stacked on hillsides, past castles that have been standing since before your country existed. And in the south, the Alps don't just sit in the background, they dominate the entire skyline. Lakes so clear you can see the bottom from a boat. Here's the part most travel videos won't tell you. You don't need a famous landmark to see any of this. Get off a train at a random small town. Start walking. That's usually where the best 5 minutes of your entire trip happens. The town's time forgot walk into Rothenburg ob der Tauber, and your brain does a double take. Colorful houses, stone walls. Streets built for horses, not cars. It feels staged, like a movie set. It's not. People actually live there. That's the real surprise about German towns. They're not museums. In Heidelberg, locals grab their morning coffee under a castle that's older than most nations. Kids walk to school past 400-year-old buildings, like it's nothing. History isn't preserved behind glass here. It's just Tuesday. And that same contradiction, old world, everyday life, shows up even more once you meet the people. The people quick story. A German friend of mine once told me, if I say I'll meet you at 3, I mean 3, not 3:05. He wasn't joking. That's real. So yes, the punctual, direct, organized stereotype, it's earned. But here's what that stereotype hides. Sit at a neighborhood cafe or catch a local football match, and you'll see a completely different energy. Loud, warm, fiercely loyal to their city, their team, their beer. Germans aren't cold, they're just precise about when they turn the warmth on. And once it's on, it's real. Food tells the same story. Forget just sausages and pretzels. Bavaria eats totally differently than Hamburg, which eats totally differently than Berlin. Regional pride runs through every plate, and nowhere is that pride louder than during the festivals. When the whole country celebrates Oktoberfest gets all the attention. Fair enough, it's massive. But it's one festival out of hundreds. Picture this instead. Winter, a historic town square. Wooden stalls appear overnight. The smell of roasted nuts and mulled wine hits you before you even turn the corner. That's a Christmas market, and it's not a tourist trap. It's a tradition locals have run for centuries for themselves that tourists just happen to get to see. That's the difference. You're not watching a performance. You're standing inside someone else's family tradition. And just when you think you've figured Germany out, old towns, old traditions, old charm, it flips completely. Berlin doesn't feel like the rest of the country at all. Creative, chaotic, multicultural, a city that reinvents itself every few years. Munich holds on to its Bavarian roots while running some of the biggest companies in the world out of glass towers a few blocks away. Hamburg smells like the sea and moves like a port city. Cranes, cargo ships, waterways cutting through the whole city. And Frankfurt? Skyscrapers. Finance. One of the busiest airports on the planet. If you landed here blind, you might guess you were in a different country entirely. Medieval villages, alpine peaks, glass towers, all the same country, sometimes the same afternoon. Why this actually matters. Germany isn't one destination. It's hundreds of them, stitched together by trains, rivers, and people who refuse to pick a side between history and the future. Morning in the mountains, afternoon in a 700-year-old town, evening in a city that feels like 20. You don't have to choose. That's the whole point. If Germany's been sitting on your travel list, this is your sign to stop scrolling past it. Subscribe if you want the next one of these dropped straight into your feed. We've got more countries like this coming, and if you want to see where we go next, the video's already queued up on your screen. Business opportunity in the description.